I don't own the rights to this music. I do not own the rights to this music.
In the graveyard is where you get dumped off. All we wanna do is party and buy everybody at the bar card. Black Barbie dressed in somebody's Ferrari. Spread love, that's what a real mob do. Keep it gangsta, look out for my people. I'm the wicked chitties. You better keep the peace. Or out come the breeze. We the best, still is room for improvement. Our presence is felt like
Hello.
7/4 to 8, back to back with a circle chrome 7 times. That's for my beats. With the Bentleys, the Hummers, the Benz, Escalations, we screams. Jumping out the Jaguar with the Tins. Keep it real, live good. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide. All my players in the hood stay fly. And if you wanna live it, you stay ride. It's the Kim and Timberland. This shit yours.
Hello, everyone. That was a little old school music to get things started. I am on early today to wrap this up. For everyone who is just joining or who didn't catch the other videos all week, I am Coach Crenée, founder and CEO of Authentically You Academy, and I'm your confidence coach. I help professional women who lack confidence and feel undervalued to be authentic and repackage their skills so that they can level up and find their purpose. I am back with part 6 and the wrap up of how a hot girl summer turned ice cold. Turned cold. That was the title of my series. As I've said all week, in recognition of Lupus Awareness Month and Women's Health Month, which is the month of May, I have told my story. I'm also raising money for the Lupus Foundation of America, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to improving the quality of life for all people affected by lupus. So, if you all didn't catch my videos Monday through Friday of this week, the last full week of May, going into the holiday weekend, I shared the full story of how in the summer of 1998, when I was very much a hot girl and I thought I was going to be having the best time in summertime Chicago, instead I was hanging out in emergency rooms between Milwaukee and Chicago, and I spent a total of 33 days hospitalized, of which 14 of those days I was on the critical care unit. And I had to have 2 different heart surgeries, accompanied by a collapsed lung and a whole host of other issues and problems. And I went from hot to not in record time. The story is done, and this is just the wrap up. I left off yesterday recapping, going home from a 33-day hospital stay. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but I don't like it, but I'll fix it. So I talked about, I left the hospital. I went through the whole ordeal of both surgeries, and I was in a bit of a denial. I will say that the land of denial is a real place. I really thought that I was going to go back to school for the fall semester of 1998 and finish my last 3 classes and receive my master's degree. And I thought that was going to happen. And it was a no. Not only that, I had to sit out the fall semester. I didn't get my MBA when I was supposed to. I had to stay at home with my parents and rehab for the next 4 months. I truly had to rehab. I went home with a port on an IV. I had to be on antibiotics, intravenously for about another 2 months. I felt like my whole life was on hold. For about 6 weeks, I was pumped up on steroids. I was growing facial hair, looking like a man. I had the whole steroid acne going on my face, down my chest, and on my back. I was eating nonstop. And honestly, I just felt like I had a hole in my stomach. It was awful. For those 4 months I was home, I'd never felt so lost in my life. I am ultra independent, and by that time I had been away from home. I had lived what little adult life that I had away from home. I had always felt sure of myself and my abilities, not in an arrogant way, but in a realistic, secure way. And I had no idea how I was going to explain away, this hole in my life or this hole in my resume. I mean, sure, I could return to school and finish in the spring, but I was worried that I wouldn't get recruited in the spring because I had missed fall recruitment, and fall recruitment is prime time for recruiting. The recruiters come down in the fall, such that if you're graduating in the spring or the fall, you're already set with your job. So I don't know how you talk about having an illness. Do you talk about it at all? Do you bring it up? Do you try to hide it? I had no idea what to do, or what I was going to do, but of course, I knew I had to go back to school and I had to finish. But perspective dictated that I had to get healthy. And, if there is any lesson that comes out of this, is that, particularly for women, and this is Women's Health Month, and we all like to push ourselves and, for lack of a better term, oftentimes even martyr ourselves for the sake of our jobs, for the sake of our children, for the sake of our families. But if you all walk away knowing nothing else, just understand that there is nothing that you can do if you don't have your health. If you are not well, you cannot take care of, if you're a caregiver, you cannot take care of anyone else. You cannot take care of your children if you are not well. You cannot take care of your elderly parents if you are not well. You cannot take care of friends if you are not well. You cannot work a job. You can't go to work. You can't volunteer in your sorority, in your community. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And let me say that again. If you are not a healthy person, if you do not have your health, you are of no use to yourself, and you are useless to anyone else. So, for this Women's Month, and as I close my series telling my story, just always take care of yourself. Keep check on your health. I am to the point where even at 20, when I was 23 years old, and this was 23 years ago, and I barely made it to my 24th birthday, there is nothing that I let get by me. When it comes to my health, I am very much in control of my health. I've always had health insurance and I use it. I go see my doctors regularly. If I don't feel good, I don't push myself. I'm the type of person that if the dishes are not done before I go to bed, so what? They'll be there when I wake up in the morning. If I'm tired, I'm going to lay down. And sometimes we push ourselves to where we are having strokes way too young. We are having heart attacks way too young. We are having anxiety. And it's just all because we feel like we have to carry the world on our shoulders, and we don't. Part of my coaching and my training, just in building women's confidence, sometimes women can feel so beat down that they think the world does not revolve without us, and it does. It is not our responsibility to carry the world on our shoulders. It is not our responsibility to do everything. Even if you are that type A person and you feel like the world will stop turning if you sit down, sometimes you just have to go somewhere and sit down. Because you know what? When you become unhealthy, or if you have a health crisis, you are not going to like when you get sat down. Now, that's not going to feel good when you are sitting in a heart attack, or when you go into cardiac arrest, or when you sitting around here having a stroke because you running around here doing too much. You're not paying attention to what your body is telling you. So I just encourage all women, all people who are doing entirely too much, take a step back, listen to the things that your body is telling you. I don't care if you are 12 years old, 15 years old, 18 years old, 25 years old, 55 years old, 85 years old. Listen and care for yourself. If you do not care for yourself, you cannot be here to care for other people. So I'm going to just leave that where it's at. There is a movement now where we hear all the time, self care is not selfish, and that is true. But the bottom line is that if you don't take care of yourself, you're gonna find yourself in the ground, and that's just the long and the short of it. So I don't care if it is selfish. You can be selfish, or somebody else can call it selfish. Your family can call it selfish. Your husband can call it selfish. I don't care what they call it. But if you want to stay above ground, and if you want to be here to fulfill your purpose, to live your life, and to be there to see children and grandchildren and to live your life to the fullest, be selfish sometimes if you need to. You can put whatever label on it that you need to, but just make sure you are listening to your body and that you can sit still long enough so that you can understand what's going on with yourself, and so that you can communicate what's going on with yourself, even to your doctors. So I'm going to leave that there. But at 23, 24 years old, I got to tell you, none of those things were important to me. But I got a lesson very, very early in life, and how to listen to my body, and how not to train your own mind, because you start to train your own mind that you're crazy. You start to train your own mind that it's you. And then other people will chime in as well. Other people will chime in with you, and then you start to alter your life, and you start to alter your lifestyle to suit your sickness. So if you've not learned anything from my story, and I encourage anyone, if you missed any part of it, to go back and listen part one through part five, which kind of details the whole ordeal. That was a lot. It was not just a lot for me, but it was a lot for my family, because remember, these things that just don't happen to you. It happens to the people who are around you, for the people who have to care for you. My parents had to care for me during that period of time in the hospital, and then when I had to stay at home. They had to go to Milwaukee and clean out my apartment. I had to leave my internship, and what I thought at the time was disgrace. I mean, of course, I know that they know that I was sick, and they were very concerned about me. Those people that worked at that job, they were so gracious to me. They paid me for the entire internship, even the last 3 weeks that I didn't work. They were worried sick about me. I think they called, almost every day to make sure that I was okay. It was a blessing, and it was a wonderful experience. And so I just want to let you all know that I'm here to tell you that trusting yourself and having confidence through crisis and after the crisis has passed, like I said yesterday, it is crucial. I have mastered some critical insights to sustaining the kind of resilience and confidence that can carry you through any crisis. And I am looking for at least 15 women who are ready to build and rebuild their confidence and go through my coaching program to take you through your next level. I don't know what your crisis is. Maybe it's not illness. Maybe it's not health. Again, maybe you're going through something else, but it doesn't matter. You have to you have to learn how to trust yourself and be resilient. You have to learn how to build all those things from within. And I'm definitely want to go through that journey with you, reach out to me to schedule a consultation. You can inbox me. My phone number is on my fan page. I'll put the email and my link in the comments. Life is a journey, and how we carry ourselves through this journey and how we use the right tools and support system will make all the difference. I am here for anyone who wants to talk, or if you have any questions, just let me know. But I did want to wrap up this series and let you all know that, well, I'm still a hot girl in my mind. You know, I might be 23 years older, but I'm still rocking this thing. And even though I didn't have the summer that I wanted to have in 1998, God allowed me to live to see many, many, many more summers. I have 3 children. I have a husband, and I have a wonderful life. I went on to get my master's degree. I went on to have a wonderful career in corporate America. I have worked for 3 Fortune 500 companies. I took an international assignment in Toronto, Canada. I loved living in Toronto. I've traveled the world by myself even before I got married, and I continue to travel the world with my husband and my family. I have had a life, and I continue to have a life that is very much fulfilled. So don't feel sorry for me when I was that little girl, that very, very sick little girl who was rolling my eyes at that doctor telling me how he was going to spread my ribs and cut into my chest, and I'm looking at him like he was out of his mind. But here I am. So be encouraged, and I hope that you all reach out to me, or if you all just want to talk or have any questions, just let me know. And have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful holiday weekend. And you all will be hearing more from me. Talk to you later.